Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're diving into something super fascinating, how modern television is literally flipping the script on how we investigate the paranormal. You know, for decades, the unknown was pretty much just the domain of blurry photos and spooky campfire stories, right? Well, not anymore. As we'll see through the lens of recent documentary series, the demand for rigorous, scientific analysis has totally transformed this space. So let's just jump right in. Okay, I want to drop you right into a real-world mystery to kick things off. Picture this. It's Thursday afternoon, March 4th, 2021, right in the middle of Wichita, Kansas. Out of nowhere, hundreds of people are staring up at the daytime sky, completely bewildered by this bizarre, incredibly fast-moving, bright silver object. Naturally, everyone whips out their phones, videos start spreading like wildfire on social media, and boom, a massive local debate erupts over what in the world this oddity could actually be.
Actually, a local eyewitness named Mike Marlar hit the nail on the head. He basically said, look, we see airplanes all the time because we're right near the airport, but this was definitely different. The intrigue was so high that a local TV station even dispatched their reporter, Eli Higgins, to fly up in a small plane just to hunt for it. But get this, by the time he took to the sky for a better vantage point, the mysterious object had completely vanished. Poof, gone.
So you gotta ask, what was it? The local news started reporting some wildly varied initial theories. Some folks speculated it was a NASA aircraft known as the Super Guppy, which actually happened to be in Wichita at the time. Others were holding out hope for something a bit more terrestrial, suggesting it was just a rogue banner advertisement for Arby's. Seriously. And of course, a huge chunk of people suspected an unidentified flying object. This exact kind of viral, unsolved mystery, whether it's extraterrestrial or just runaway roast beef marketing, is exactly what modern documentary television now seeks to deconstruct.
Section 1. Analyzing the proof.
A really prime example of this analytical trend is the History Channel series The Proof is Out There, hosted by Tony Harris. They actually dedicated an entire episode to that Wichita sighting. But what's super fascinating is the sheer scope of what they investigate, demanding scientific validation across this massive spectrum. I mean, on one hand, you have classic cryptids like Bigfoot, or a 30-foot-long sea monster in London's River Thames, right alongside a mutant baby shark. Then they pivot straight into heavy-hitting UFO cases like the USS Nimitz, mixed with utterly bizarre anomalies like the Los Angeles Jetpack Man or teleportation claims caught on doorbell cams. It perfectly juxtaposes the seemingly ridiculous with the highly credible.
But here's the thing. The series isn't just about flashing weird, grainy footage at you for shock value. It's about bringing in a totally unimpartial panel of scientists and defense specialists. Host Tony Harris is joined by absolute heavy hitters like theoretical physicist Michio Kaku, science writer Mick West, astronomer Mark D'Antonio, and defense tech expert Tim McMillan. These guys are there to systematically break down every single video or audio clip to separate fact from fiction. It elevates the conversation way beyond standard internet speculation.
Section 2. Tech meets classic mysteries.
Now, these shows don't just tackle new smartphone videos from last Tuesday, they use modern breakthroughs to crack bizarre regional lore that has puzzled people for generations. Case in point, have you ever heard of Omawing? Basically, it's this incredibly obscure theory that Bigfoot makes specific, ultra-low frequency sounds that can actually make people physically sick. The Proof is Out There dedicates time to analyzing newly surfaced audio recordings purported to be Sasquatch death cries just to see if there is any real sonic truth to this terrifying local legend.
It really is the perfect fusion of old mysteries and new tech. Think about it. For 54 years, the famous 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film has been the holy grail of Bigfoot evidence. Well, investigators are now applying cutting-edge artificial intelligence to restore this decades-old film, finally getting a much clearer, unprecedented look at the figure we all know as Patty. It's a brilliant example of modern science shedding new light on old shadows.
Section 3. Flipping the perspective.
While some shows are applying hard science to footage, an upcoming 2026 series called UFO POV is going for a massive paradigm shift. Think about traditional shows for a second. They always frame the narrative as humans looking up at the unknown, right? Well, this new series has a totally unique, frankly mind-bending premise. Using eyewitness accounts, expert analysis, and innovative special effects, they try to show what the UFO would have seen looking down at us. The show isn't just trying to figure out what these crafts are, it's asking what they are actually looking for.
And it's wild to see how this builds across an incredible historical span of famous cases the show re-examines. Let's start in 1967 at Falcon Lake, Canada, where a man suffered severe radioactive burns after a close encounter with two cigar-shaped objects. Jump to 1997, when thousands of people saw a massive triangular formation known as the Phoenix Lights. Move up to 2004, where highly trained naval radar techs tracked the USS Nimitz anomaly. And then 2006, a major event at Chicago O'Hare. This series puts us directly in the driver's seat of the craft for all these pivotal moments.
Let's actually zoom in on that Chicago O'Hare incident as a prime case study. 12. That is exactly how many United Airlines employees witnessed a hovering, gray, disc-shaped object right above Gate C-17. What makes this particular case so notoriously fascinating is that despite having 12 highly credible witnesses in a massively secure area, the Federal Aviation Administration flatly refused to investigate it, which naturally led many to suspect a cover-up. By flipping the perspective, the show asks a chilling question. What was that thing hovering over Gate C-17, observing in those 12 employees?
The series also pans out to look at intense, localized phenomena across North America, mapping them out to maybe piece together the intentions behind these sightings. They explore the ominous trumpets of the sky sounds up in Anchorage and the dreaded Alaskan Triangle, which, by the way, is the site of over 20,000 disappearances over 50 years. That's just staggering. They utilize 50-year-old audio from a witness in Langenburg, Canada, and investigate the Chicago suburb of Tinley Park, which boasts over 160 different sightings. Mapping all these regional mysteries from the POV of the unknown visitors gives us a completely fresh analytical framework.
Section 4. Our enduring fascination. So taking a step back, what do these highly analytical formats actually reveal about our society today? I mean, why are we so drawn to shows dissecting audio waves and running AI on 50-year-old film? It ties perfectly back to our Wichita hook. We live in an era where literally everyone has a high-def camera in their pocket, and yet the mystery still persists. The public demand for scientific validation of the unknown is absolutely stronger than ever. We're just not satisfied with blurry photos, wild speculation, or FAA cover-ups anymore. We're demanding rigorous technological investigations from physicists and defense experts. We want the truth, and we want the data to back it up.
Yet, even with all of this incredible effort, a profound truth remains. Look, AI restorations of half-century-old Bigfoot films and visually flipped narratives of the Phoenix Lights definitely bring us closer to clarity. But the core mystery at the center of all these explainers remains tantalizingly out of reach. We can rule out the Arby's banners and the Super Guppy aircrafts, sure, but the fundamental question still burns. What are these incredible objects being seen throughout history and all around the world? Which leaves us with the ultimate question. As we continue to point our very best science, our artificial intelligence, and our sharpest minds at the skies and the forests, we have to wonder, is this modern scientific approach finally going to answer humanity's biggest question? Are we alone? It's a mystery that will definitely keep us looking up, and as modern TV shows us, perhaps even looking down for a long time to come. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep your eyes on the skies and stay curious.